Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Our Friday review coming to you today here on the Cabral Concept. I'm Dr. Stephen Cabral, board certified doctor of naturopathy and of course host of the Cabral Concept. If you're new to the show, I know we have a lot of new people, new subscribers coming in, which is phenomenal. Welcome. We appreciate you being a part of this global health community. What we try to do every single day here on the show is bring you about a 18-minute to 20-minute or so show. That's what it seems to work out to be. I really try to keep it to that time limit. And the reason is I know you're busy, but what I want to do is provide you with the actionable wellness, weight loss, weight gain, and anti-aging based protocols that are actually proven to work through science, through ancient wisdom as well, and backed up in clinical practice. And I've been practicing now for over 20 years. My team and I have worked with well over 250,000 people. And what I try to do is just share with you what really works in the real world, not what's supposed to work and based in lab rat studies. It's what actually works in the real world that I want you to be able to use and really take back control of your health. So on our Friday shows, I like to give you a little bit of everything. So it's a little taste of the week. It's a recap. It's going over what's going on in my private practice as well as kind of my personal based space in terms of what I'm developing, what I'm working on. I love being able to go over a product review of the week because I'm always testing out new things. And I typically share the best ones with you. Same with books. I'm reading a couple books a week, and I like to be able to share one that I think you'll find interesting. Not a textbook that I might be reading, but actually one that I think that you would enjoy. And then, of course, research that's pertinent to you that will make a difference in your life or a loved one's life. All right, so let's get started with the show. Up first, as always, what's been going on over this past week, because the weeks really do fly by. We only get 52 a year, right? So they go by pretty quick. But this weekend, I'm literally heading out today to speak at a conference in Tampa, Florida. I'm excited about that one. And I'll be giving a talk around metabolic-based health. I'm going to be asking to see if I can get a copy of that. So if able to, I will, of course, share that with you. But this is a talk that I've been developing that I want to share more and more. And most likely, I'll be giving a version of it as well at the EquiLife and IHP live conference. This is one of the first times I've been talking about it that will happen this fall. So if you're part of this global health community, we'll be all getting together this fall, which is going to be amazing. We did it last year with just the IHP community, and now we want to offer it to EquiLife and the just Cabral Concept community as well. So again, look for more about this as well. I'm really fine-tuning this talk that I think that more and more people should know about, of how hormones affect your mood, your energy, your metabolism, and your mojo. But instead of just replacing them with testosterone replacement therapy, estrogen replacement therapy, growth hormone replacement therapy, etc., can we do that naturally? The answer is yes, we can. And I want to share with you exactly how to do that through lifestyle, through diet, through exercise, etc., right? The whole de-stress protocol. So super excited about that. This is going to be my first talk on that. And I'll stay tuned for much more to come. All right, what's happening over at EquiLife this weekend, being President's Day weekend? We are offering free shipping all weekend long over at EquiLife. You can head on over there by going to stephencabral.com/shop. And for qualifying orders, which I think is pretty incredible, we are actually giving you part of our advanced renewal system. Many of you are already well familiar with our advanced renewal system. I'll tell you right now, there is not a better science-backed dual system out there right now. You've got the Inflamma Soothe and you have the Cell Boost. The Cell Boost is the NMN, it's the transresveratrol, it's the quercetin, it's the PQQ. Honestly, there's not a more potent product out there, and we offer it for less than anyone else. Meaning, like, there's no way you could find a product for less than $100 for the Cell Boost. Probably like $150. We offer this at less than half that price. So, I mean, we really are trying to move the anti-aging community forward, and half of that is also the Inflamma Soothe. So the Inflamma Soothe is, well, it does just what it says, right? So it helps balance healthy levels of inflammation. So you're looking at Indian frankincense, boswellia, you're looking at bromelain, ginger, green tea extract, holy basil, rutin, purple sweet potato root, trypsin, turmeric, and BioPerine, the black pepper, to get it absorbed to a much greater degree. Really powerful product for mobility, for soothing, for relief, balancing healthy levels of inflammation. You can get a free bottle. I mean, this is a $69 bottle. You can get yours completely free with all qualifying orders by heading on over to stevencabral.com/shop while supplies last. All right, podcast recap for the week. Episode 2565, discovering your personality dosha types, a little Ayurveda, a little modern day understanding your personality. There's 4 main personalities from this particular grid. I share with you mine, and I also ask you, like, really listen to this. Understand yourself, become more self-aware, and also maybe your partner, your spouse, family member, like understand that they're built different. You know, they literally, not just physically, but mentally, they are built different. And one isn't necessarily better than the other. So when you begin to understand your natural tendencies, you can either work on bringing some things up that you'd like to, toning some things down, and I go through that on that show. So that was 2565. Episode 2566 was 3 powerful tips to increase growth hormone while you sleep. Growth hormone is major production is when you sleep. I give you 3 easy things to do that I think everybody should be doing. 2567 was how soda and energy drinks can ruin your health. I go through 6 to 7 of the main ways that may have you thinking twice if you're drinking soda or energy drinks on a daily basis. Every once in a while, no big deal. Daily or multiple times per week, it is a big deal, and you'll want to check out that show. And episode 2568 was how to use a binder properly to maximize results. So I give you the different ingredients. I tell you about how to think about it, when to use it with protocols. And again, I did that as an outro to the show, but just make sure that, again, if you're taking, these things really do work, right? They're meant for heavy metals, mold, parasites, viruses, etc. They work great. So that's why, though, you want to take it away from medication. So if you take medication, do not take a binder when taking medication, okay? So you would take your medication first thing in the morning, if that's how you take it, and you wait an hour at least before taking your binder, all right? But I mentioned that in the outro of yesterday's show as well. Just wanted to add that. All right, we're already at our product review of the week. For all of the links from today's show, head on over to stevencabral.com/2569. Keep in mind, I can't link up things like the universal binder. I can't link up the Inflamma Soothe. Can't link up nutritional supplements, but I can link up lab tests, previous podcasts, and product reviews and book reviews like I'm about to get to right now. So I'm not holding it in my hand, but hopefully by the power of video editing, we can pop in a photo of a game called Totem, Totem. And you'll be able to see the different totems that you can create for you and for the whole family. Why I wanted to bring this to you is because I'm really doing a lot with mental, emotional-based health as well. I mean, we have so many healing protocols, right? We've got digestive healing protocols, we've got mold detox protocols, heavy metal detox, functional medicine detox, we've got constipation protocols, all sorts of different things, right? And they work, no doubt about it. But we also we don't want to forget that the mind and our psychology absolutely does affect our physiology. And because of that, people can relapse, they can get worse. And so we want to work on the mind as well. Here's the amazing thing. I have 2 daughters. If you've been listening to the podcast now for 7 years or so, well, they're 8 and 10 years old. You've kind of heard as they've grown up over the years. And one of the things that we want to do, especially with our 2 daughters, is to continue to boost their self-confidence, especially as they get to be teenagers. But at the same time, get them to understand that we're all a little unique. We're all a little bit different, but each one of those are special in their own way. And what the game Totem does, it's very simple and it's very straightforward, but it's beautiful, is that each person, so basically you get the deck and you deal 7 cards to the other members of the table. In my family, my wife, my 2 daughters, okay? So let's say I deal out 7 cards to each of them. And it's an animal-based card. And it's always as to what that person embodies. So for me, it's funny, but I know that they did, one of them was an energetic salmon. Like that was one of them, right? So basically you have a quality, which is energetic, that you put 3 cards in front of you, and the person who they're being given to gets to read them all. So one of them might be, intuitive. Another one might be energetic, and another one might be positive. Okay, and so they chose those 3 words for me. And what they put them, and I put them then in the order I think that they best fit me. And then I flip it over from least to most. And what the person does is they explain why they chose that card for you. So it's basically like you're building up the individual. It's really, really nice. And it has nice little graphics on them. So that's the quality. And then there's the salmon or the camel or the hippo or the elephant. And the elephant might be wise and the salmon might be, I don't even know, well-read, something like that, right? And so then again, you go through what you feel is least like you to most like you. And then after you flip them all over, the people, not including you, get to choose which one is most you. And you go through rounds. And what we do is we typically did like one round a night for like 5 days. And we built up these totems. And at the end of it, and I can put mine on social media if you want. I have to remember, my team has to remember that I have to send them that photo. You get to see all the different characteristics that other people thought about me, in this case, my family. And so it's really a beautiful game. If you have kids, there's a family edition. I think there's a couples edition, and I would absolutely check it out. I think it's fantastic. There's one other board game that I wanted to bring you, or card game, and it's called Better Me. So Better Me is not dissimilar. Better Me is, and it's a little bit more complicated. So the totem could work for kids like 5, 6 years old and up. Better Me, my girls are 8 and 10, but like every parent, they're so smart, right? So they can, they pick this up, but probably more like 10 years old and up, I think, for this game. But my youngest daughter totally gets it. And what you do is you land on different squares where you choose a card and you explain maybe an obstacle or challenge you're going through. So now you get to know family members as to what they may be struggling with, what they might be challenging, but then also what are they committing to? And you actually write it down on a card, what you're committing to over the next 3 weeks, 6 weeks, etc., and who is going to keep you responsible for that. So very interesting games. I would start with Totem. It's a fun game. It's easy. Anybody really 5 years old and up can play it. And Better Me is also an excellent one as well. Just you need more time for it. Totem, you could go around maybe in like 20 minutes for 4 people and it'd be done. Better Me, you need a good hour to be able to play that. And so wanted to share that with you. I know it's kind of funny maybe, me making these recommendations, but I'm telling you right now, they'll improve the family's mental, emotional health as well, and relationships. And if you've heard my Mindset and Motivation Mondays, you know I talk about health, I talk about body, I talk about relationships, I talk about your purpose, your career, whatever you want it to be, your passion, and I talk about your spirituality. And so I'm always gonna give you product reviews based around those things. All right, and again, let me know if you have any questions on that. Today's book review is called The Mountain Is You. I don't even know how I found this book. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes books come to me and I have no idea how I found this book. So this has been around for a bit, I believe. And this one is by Brianna West. It's came out in 2020, so obviously not that long ago at all. And it's Transforming Self-Sabotage into Self-Mastery. It's a very small, simple, easy to read book, about 200 pages, which if I write books in the future, they're not going to be 400 pages. They're going to be 200 pages. Very easy to put into practice. So basically it moves from, and I'll give you a little bit of this here because I did mark some of my favorite pages to bring to you. You're moving from a place of negative thoughts, self-sabotage, disorganization, anxiety, PTSD, just bleakness of the future, and understanding that so much of this, and we don't like to hear this, and I myself included, so much of it resides in us. So much of it resides in the mental imagery that we create based on our past, based on inner child-based work. And I wanted to read you just a little page if I could. And it says, we mentally become trapped in these places from which we still crave an experience. What we don't realize is that we have to sort of free ourselves from it so that we can go forth and create it in real time. Instead of accepting the ways we think life did not work out, meaning thinking back to your younger childhood, we have to be able to see what was at the core of our desire and figure out a way to still give ourselves that experience now. If you truly want to let go of a past experience, you have to re-enter it through your memory. Close your eyes and find the feeling in your body that is uncomfortable. This is your portal to its root. Follow the feeling and ask it to show you where it started. You'll remember a time, a place, or experience. Sometimes the memory is fresh enough that you don't need to do this, and you can simply re-enter the memory by imagining that you are back where it all began. Now, what you have to do is to superimpose a narrative to your younger self. You need to imagine that your healed and happy older self, is imparting some wisdom. Imagine sitting next to your younger self as they got their heart broken and giving them very specific instructions about why this is absolutely for the best. And although they cannot know it yet, there is another relationship out there that is far, far better. Imagine sitting next to your younger self when they felt really down and giving them the exact instructions regarding what they need to do to feel better, who they need to call, where they need to go, what they need to begin doing, and when they need to stop doing. Most importantly, imagine telling your younger self that absolutely everything, yes, everything, is going to be okay, that their fears are largely unfounded, that good things are coming, and that life will turn out well in the end. Really, really nice. And the reason why I dog-eared that page for you is that when I was doing a lot of my own healing work from a psychological perspective as well, that's exactly what I went through. I didn't know it at the time, but it's called regression-based healing. So I've talked about before, I've got a podcast with Elliot Rowe. If you want to check that out, you're welcome to. That's at stevencabral.com/podcast. You can just type in Elliot Rowe. He's one of the individuals that I worked with, but what he combines is neurolinguistic programming with hypnosis. And so basically the hypnosis is just to get you in a relaxed state. And then the regression-based therapy is going back to a circumstance that you can remember of feeling that feeling as far back as you can first remember it. And then you as your adult self going in and saying, how does this child feel? How does this individual feel? And then working through it and then using the wisdom of today to begin to heal that past memory. Because really what we conjure up is when we're having a bad day, a bad life, right? Whatever it might be, is that we're reliving this negative feedback loop and we have to break the loop. It's really powerful work. And this book gives you kind of a little intro into what that's all about. So the Mountain is You, and I'll link that up by Brianna West. All right, research for the day is actually going to be 3 studies, all on vitamin D. Why would I give you more research on vitamin D? Here's the thing. There are people out there right now, I did a show about them called like the Guru Diet or Be Aware of Guru Diets, but it was really just fringe-based advice. There's people out there that I think they're well-meaning, very well-meaning, and they're saying, you should never get vitamin D except from the sun. And I say to them, yeah, that would be phenomenal. I wish that everybody was able to get vitamin D from the sun. But most people wear sunscreen. That's up to them. So they're definitely not getting a tan, which definitely means they're not getting the vitamin D. Then they say, well, you should just get then vitamin D. And by the way, what happens during the winter? How do you get vitamin D from the winter in Boston, right, in New England? Well, you can't anywhere really except the very southern part of the country, right? Like Florida, Southern California, like that's about it, right? There's very few places, maybe Arizona. Okay, anyway, there's, again, and you have to be outside, like actually getting full body sun multiple days per week, like 4 or more. So they don't tell you that. But then, and then when you ask them on that, they say, well, then you should just get it from food. And I did a podcast on vitamin D levels in food, and it's almost impossible to get adequate levels through food alone, like literally impossible. Okay, so then how are you supposed to get it? The only other way is when you're not getting adequate sun, you could use a sun lamp, or you could take a vitamin D supplement, which is super inexpensive to do, right? Okay, well, here's the thing. The research is so heavily weighted on the benefits of vitamin D that people telling you not to take vitamin D, if it was conventional medicine, it would be considered malpractice, like literally, because you can just look up, pick a disease, right? Pick anything, psoriasis, metabolic, blood sugar. Today I'm gonna be going over cancer. I'm gonna be going over PCOS. I'm gonna be going over the flu and viruses. Just type that in, vitamin D. You'll see the research. Again, I always tell people I do not look for blind trust. What I want you to know is though I am unbiased. I am totally unbiased. I agree that you could get vitamin D from the sun, but I also know from being in practice a very long time and testing thousands upon thousands of people's vitamin D levels that in my practice, it's like 3 out of 100 people have adequate vitamin D if they are not supplementing with vitamin D. And it's so easy. It's literally 2,000 to 4,000 IUs a day or 50 to 100 micrograms a day. Not mega dosing, not 10,000, not 50,000, 2,000 to 4,000 IU. That's it, or what's called 50 to 100 micrograms. All right, let's go through the studies though. Because again, I don't need blind trust, certainly not asking for that. I wanna share with you always the research, all right? So PCOS and physiopathology and vitamin D deficiency. All right, so I'm gonna link up all of these studies, but one of the things that I wanna share with you is that PCOS deals with imbalanced hormone levels. I've talked about this before. It can be estrogen balance, higher levels of testosterone. It deals with blood sugar dysregulation. It can deal with adrenal-based issues like cortisol, and as well as low vitamin D. And so what vitamin D does is it helps to improve overall insulin sensitivity. It helps with glucose levels. It helps with balancing healthy levels of inflammation and much more. And so when they ran a study, and this is a well-done study in the Journal of Clinical Medicine, you can actually see that PCOS is much worse in those with vitamin D deficiency and how the outcomes can be far improved by simply supplementing with vitamin D. All right, that's the first one. That's easy. I'm gonna link up all these. Again, I'm giving you the high level. You wanna go deep? Great. I'm always gonna give you all the links for every Friday review. This one is vitamin D3 supplementation at 5,000 IUs a day, which is a little above, again, my recommendation. Most adults around 4,000 IUs. I don't have an issue with this. I get about 4,400 IUs a day. That's the amount that I take during the wintertime when I'm not getting sun. Like if I'm not going to the beach that day, I'm not getting a tan, right? And during the winter, I'm not going to the beach. And so, and during Monday through Friday, I'm not going to the beach. And so again, like we have to take into account the real world. But it's called vitamin D3 supplementation at 5,000 IUs daily for the prevention of influenza-like illness, okay? They literally gave this to healthcare workers that are out there working with people that are sick and have influenza, the flu around them. And what they showed was that daily supplementation with 5,000 IUs of vitamin D3 reduces influenza-like illness in healthcare workers. Like it's very straightforward. Like it's straightforward. Vitamin D boosts your immune system. It's just the way that it is. We have something called the immunity protocol. The immunity protocol is vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc. And it works phenomenally well. Please don't listen to your local media outlet that says that it doesn't. It does. Listen to the clinical science, and I will link it up for you. I can't link up our immunity protocol. Of course, you can find everything at stevencabral.com/shop. You never have to purchase it through EquiLife. Just see what we're doing. Like you can just look at what we do. We open source everything, and then you can decide to work with an integrative health practitioner, purchase it wherever you'd like. But I just want to show you that it's available. The last one I want to share with you is brand new, this study. So this one is is published in Matrix Biology. This was actually done in Japan. Nagoya, and I apologize, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. Nagoya University School of Medicine in Nagoya, Japan, or Nagoya, Japan. I don't know how you pronounce it, but hopefully that was well enough for people to be able to find it. And again, I'll link it up. And it said this. So this is vitamin D help prevent ovarian cancer and stop metastasized cancer from spreading. Vitamin D restores a layer of cells in the peritoneal cavity to their cancer protective state. While not yet tested in humans, supplementing up to 2,000 IUs of vitamin D and getting 30 minutes of sunlight daily are considered safe. So this is a preliminary study I wanted to bring you. I think you're gonna see it play out very well in humans, and 2,000 IUs is the lowest dose really for most adults. Again, as I said, most adults need 4,000 to maybe 5,000, depending on body weight. If you're a little bit heavier, you need a little bit more vitamin D. That's just basically the way that life works, right? And so I have a podcast on vitamin D cofactors. I'll link up as well. But honestly, it's as easy as you can take your vitamin D with your daily nutritional support. You get all the cofactors. So you don't really have to worry about it. It's very, very easy. You can just put it on your tongue, drink your DNS shake, and you're good to go. But here's the thing. They're using this now to halt cancer. And so anybody telling you then you can't get benefits or don't get benefits or you shouldn't take vitamin D, be very careful of that advice. I'm not sure that they have your best interest in mind. They might have theirs as trying to seem like the expert, but I'm very leery about those people. I get a little bit worried about why are they doing this? Is it to self-promote them and their specific special knowledge base, and then do they have to be right, or are we doing our best to help people in general? I want to just make sure that as an industry, we're always moving forward, that we're trying to share the best of everything, a truly integrative-based practice. And so that's what it's all about. I thank you. I appreciate you. Hopefully today's show was helpful. As I always say, if it was, do feel free to share this show with anyone you believe it could serve. Appreciate you. Again, thank you. I'll be back tomorrow with our Cabral House Calls answering all of your questions. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.